Welcome to Sault Ste. Marie.
My name's Al,
And I'm Lori.
and together we are
Adventures in Travel.
Welcome to Sault Ste. Marie.
This tree is pretty low. The locks are over here. This is Frank's place. We ate here a couple times on our last visit. Here's the Hotel Ojibwe. And they have some nice pictures here on the side. It's safe to cross, yes. Here's the Sulak Park, where the festival will be Friday. There's the lock view up ahead. There's some lock workers finishing their shift. Lots of gift shops. Well, you know, here's the Lockview Motel. And naturally they have a view of the locks. That's why they call themselves the Lockview. And they also have an adjoining hotel. Looks like they have a sandwich board out front. Maybe specials. Let's see what they got. Come try our fresh whitefish. That's their specialty. Whitefish. And there's the Sioux Locks Visitor Center. Right there. Time for dinner. Hi. Here we go, right here. We had a very, very good time. So let's go check out this marker at the church. And there's another marker also on this rock. You can tell it's copper because it's green. See what they say. In memory of the first mission church, the first building erected in the North Country, honor near this spot by Father James Marquette, year 1668. If I'm right about this, this is the same priest whom Marquette Park is named after on Mackinac Island. Could be the very same person. He made his rounds in this area. Very interesting. Here's a lovely garden. Over here is an apartment building that you can see from the camera. Those lucky people on the other side can watch the locks. And you can see the camera too, way up there. There it is. All right, let's go. And there's the City Hall building right there. Let's go across the street so we can get a closer look. The locks are over here. And there's some other markers here also. Let's take a look at those. And for your point of reference, here's where we just were. Let's see what this says. Liberty Tree Memorial. This American Liberty elm was named after the Liberty Tree of our country's first symbol of freedom. On the morning of August 14, 1765, the people of Boston awakened to discover two effigies suspended from an elm tree in protest of the Hated Stamp Act. From this day forward, the elm became known as the Liberty Tree. It stood in silent witness to countless meetings, speeches, and celebrations, and became the rallying place for the Sons of Liberty. In August of 1775, as a last act of violence prior to their evacuation of Boston, British soldiers cut it down because it bore the name Liberty. And here's a closer look at this beautiful tree. And here's another monument over here. And here's the City Hall. Over there is the courthouse. We'll take a look at the courthouse a little later as we head back. And here's another plaque on this rock. See what this says. Here's the businesses across the street. Right.
On this site, Old Fort Brady, 1st U.S. Army post in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, was established in 1822. Colonel Hugh Brady, 2nd U.S. Infantry commanding. Stone placed by the city of Sault Ste. Marie. Tablet given by 4 citizens of Sault Ste. Marie, 1941.
Wow, very interesting. Sounds to me like there's a freighter coming. Let's do a detour. Let's head to Water Street. Maybe we can catch this freighter. I'm not sure where it is, but it's close. Again, here's a view back where we started. We're coming up on historic Water Street. Let's go this way. And here's another marker about Fort Brady.
Fort Brady, on July 6, 1822, a battalion of American troops under Colonel Hugh Brady reached the Sioux, thereby reconfirming the assertion of American authority over this region made by Lewis Cass in 1820. Fort Brady was built here in the years end. French and Indians living at the village now recognized that this remote outpost was truly part of America. The fort was removed in 1893 to a new site chosen by General Phil Sheridan. Michigan Historical Commission registered site number 88.
Let's see if there's any more on the other side. Sometimes it's a different one. Yes, it is different. Some markers are two-sided, So it's always good to look at the other side.
This is the same. This is the same wording.
Well, in this case it's the same, but this side looks less weather beaten. Over here is where they have a lot of the cranes and barges and tugboats. All right. And there's the back side of the courthouse. Not the courthouse, the city hall right here. I see another marker. Right over here. We don't have to read it, hon.
Don't?
No.
Okay.
Here's the next marker. You can read this one. Them.
St. Mary's Church. On this site in 1668 was built the first permanent wooden structure in what is now the state of Michigan. This was St. Mary's Church, erected by the French Jesuit fathers Jacques Marquette and Louis Nicolas to minister to the Ojibwe community. The church, the city, and the river rapids were all named Sainte Marie du Sault by Father Marquette in honor of the Blessed Virgin Mary. A century later, the French fort stood here, and sometime later, Old Fort Brady, followed by the Federal Building, and now the City Hall of Sault Ste. Marie. The present St. Mary's Church on Portage Avenue is the fifth building to house St. Mary's Parish, which is the third oldest Catholic congregation in the United States of America. It was also the first site of what is now the Diocese of Marquette, established by the saintly snowshoe priest, Bishop Frederick Moraga in 1857. Sault Ste. Marie is the first non-Native American settlement in what has become the present state of Michigan.
All right. All right, in pursuit of lunch.
You notice the name Father Baraga also was mentioned inside the Tower of History.
And there was a painting. Did you know Wisconsin had its own snowshoe doctor as well? It's can be just as hard in the north woods of Wisconsin as here in the winter. Let's go to the courthouse, but are you thinking about where to go for lunch?
Pick the nearest one.
Let's wander on down to the American Legion. I don't know if they're serving lunch. Are you interested?
Yes, they are.
Then we will see. It's down here. So we'll see if we can get lunch at the American Legion. You can in many cases, but we don't know for here yet. We don't know their schedule, so we're going to go take a look. And here's a recreation of the Fort Brady right here, the stockade walls, what it looked like. Tower sure looked beautiful up there. And there's a pathway leading down. We'll get a closer look too of the tugboats and cranes. See over here? They sure look bigger down here than they do from the camera. Makes everything look like a toy. That looks like a U.S. Army owned tug right there. That one here in the center of the video. There's quite the array of equipment here. We don't know if the Legion is open, but we'll go find out. Oh, take a look. Sulak's boat tour going out. I hope they find a ship today. It's very windy and it's cooler than yesterday, so probably in the 60s, low 60s, so even in June you gotta bundle up out here sometimes. But it's better than being too hot. Where is the Legion? Never mind. Things do look different from the ground.
Are you sure you're heading to the VFW?
I don't know, Al.
Let's head back up. We'll go down the street that we're familiar with.
Yes. Wait a minute. I don't know what's over there. Let's take a look over here, as long as we're over here. All right. Let's get a better look at this monument. Look at this beautiful wrought iron gate. See the arrows? This is an ancient burial ground, kept under lock and key to protect it. No. Here you can read it. Not you.
Anishinaabe oral history.
Shall we go to Frank's place for lunch? Would you like that?
Where?
Frank's place.
Sure.
We really enjoyed eating at Frank's place when we came here 3 years ago. So we decided we're going to go there for lunch. And it was really good. So we'll go do it. Here's a ghost, what they call a ghost mural. It says Grand Hotel Motel. This was long ago, no doubt. This is where we're located right now. The main street of downtown. We'll cross the street up here since Frank's place is on that side. We can cross up here and then go that way. Here's a survey of, here we go. And here's a brewing company here. Very nice. And looking back, there's the tower. Lot packed into this block. They do a lot to beautify the downtown. Beautiful flowers they got here.
Yeah, I will soon.
And here comes Frank's place. We recommend this restaurant too. We had 2 meals there on our last visit. So we look forward to coming back. And off in the distance is the Hotel Ojibwe. I like the stone in the front. It's very pretty. try a homemade UP pasty. That sounds like a good suggestion. This is their hours. 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on weekdays and 7 to 3 on the weekend. And they have an extensive menu. But I will consider a pasty. I haven't had one in a long time. Let's go. We got a few publications. Well, we can seat ourselves. Where do you want to sit, hon?
Is it just the two of you? Is it just two?
Yeah, just us. Yeah, we're.
Yeah, if you come down this way, you can get here a little quicker.
No worries.
She got hit a little faster.
We'll come here. And coming up right here is the Chippewa County Courthouse. Let's get a closer view. Let's take a look at that monument over there. We'll take the path. And there's roses or some kind of flowers over there too. Very beautiful building. And the clock is correct too. It's actually the time, 20 to 1. And there's another one down there as well. This is a historical marker. Here's the sculpture. Let's look at the other one. And there's one here in the middle. Here's a little area right here too. Here we go. Let's take a closer look at the cruise ship. It's one of those large Vikings. Right over here is the Lake Superior State University building. And over here is the power plant. The Viking Polaris. Let's take a look. Here we are. What a large ship that is. It's huge. Let's get a closer look. Let's take a little walk around. We haven't been close to the power plant yet. So there's a viewing area there too, to look at the river. See, this is part of LSSU. And there's some signage here. And there's a little walking path. And they have a rain garden here as well. You have a few minutes, so we'll take a real quick look here. The Viking Polaris is quite impressive. One of the larger cruise ships of the Great Lakes. There's also the Viking Ocantus, which we've seen before. Here's the power plant and fish hatchery. Very nice place on the St. Mary's River. Watch the ships. Oh, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Let's take a look at the power plant. Get this point of view. It's so big you can't even get the whole thing in this mode here. There's the whole length of the power plant. It's really big. And there's Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. And over here is the famous Soo Locks boat tour dock. And also you can see the cranes from the Coast Guard and the Army Corps of Engineers, all the work they do. There's the railroad bridge. It's a little bit windy this morning, but the rain has stopped. Very nice area, people fishing also. And there's the Bush Plane Museum in Canada. And we end at the Viking Polaris. Here we go. Nice view of the bow. Let's take a walk around. Here's another view.